I want to talk about baseball because PMAC's not here.
This is really funny because I did something today to the intro.
Really?
Yeah, and I just wanted to say I don't know if this is going to be if this episode's really good. I got to put it on the for free for everybody.
Okay.
But if it's like, it's just for Patreon.
I don't know. It's my last live show for a long time, so I feel like you have to give this one out to the kids for free.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
That was stunned, pounded, straight away, goodbye, boom, stick, baby, Mike Cimino, way gone, and Eddie Diaz has got it, ball game over.
Puck's on net and driving it, making it a hard night on him.
5 long years.
Live on tape from Geeta's apartment, her palatial estate on the 23rd floor. This is Pucks on Net of Vancouver Hockey Podcast.
Isn't this Balls on Bats?
It's something. It's an off-season report. It doesn't talk about fantasy or fancy stats no matter what sport we're talking about.
Sabernomics need not apply, Ryan.
Geeta and Dave are both in their Kyle Dubas cosplay with their thick frame spectacles. And they look great. Actually, Dave's got new frames, and he looks just lovely.
I've just become a glasses wearer.
Look good.
Yeah, we really like them.
Ah, well, cool. Well, I got to keep them because I can't see, and I don't like sticking things in my eye. So there you go.
I want to thank you for joining us wherever you got us from. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksOnNetCA or PucksNetCa. And if you want to support the show monetarily, you can head on over to patreon.com/PucksOnNet, where you can pledge a couple of bucks.
Couple of bucks or Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're on to Bitcoin now, or Dogecoin, or any
I
fancy,
like coupons,
fancy currency.
Yeah, anything fancy. Artisan
gift
courtesy.
cards.
Euros. We'll take some euros.
And this is going to be a Patreon-only episode, but then we have some good stories to tell, and you brought up a good point, and so it'll be free. So Patreon backers, there is something I want to record before Dave relocates. I guess I should say that right off the bat.
Yeah, so breaking news, I am going to be the Pucks on Net Atlantic Division correspondent. I'll be moving to downtown Ottawa on September 10th, and I will be within driving distance of the Air Canada Centre, the First Niagara Centre, the Bell Centre, all the centers.
All the centers.
The flooded Scotiabank Centre in the big smoke.
I believe it's the Canadian Tires. Oh, yeah, it is.
Where's your apartment?
Scotia.
In Canada?
No one lives in Canada except for Eugene Melnick and his big dark tower.
He lives by the Ford dealership.
Our new apartment is going to be in Centertown, adjacent to Byward Market, which is the gas town of downtown Ottawa.
Yeah, so Dave's role will be diminished. So he will definitely. We'll still hear from you.
We could do we're workshopping a few ideas. There could be a 5-minute pre-recorded.
Do we get Carlson in return for Dave?
Oh yeah, that's the return.
This is the trade. Breaking news.
Yeah, Eric Carlson to the Canucks for me. I did let the Canucks know formally the other day that I was departing.
A 5-minute pre-recorded where we don't have to jam into the conversation.
Where I just Back in Black with Lewis Black type Daily Show type thing.
Let's see what Dave's up to, and you just go for 5 minutes.
Dave's rant.
Not a bad idea.
We'll workshop it. Maybe I'll do some blogging too. We'll see.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a thing he's making us do.
That's right.
See, I'm kind of on board with it since I'm going to be just sitting out there freezing my nuts off. I bought new skates in the spirit of going to Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
I've got these fancy new Bauer S160s, which you can pick up right now for a couple of bucks at the Sports Exchange. Those guys are great, so I thought I'd give them a shout, actually. The Sports Exchange on Burrard Street.
Oh, they're the best.
They're the best. The best, Jerry. The best.
That's where I bought my high socks.
So I got some new skates. They've got a trigger release on the chassis where you can actually swap the blades out, because I've heard that outdoor skating, being a West Coast boy, I don't really do it very much, is rough on the old blades. So I'm going to have a set of blades for indoor and a set of blades for outdoor.
Yeah, when I lived in Calgary, we had a outdoor lake that had a Zamboni, and it was still I remember we were skating on the lake one weekend, and then hockey practice or a game on the Sunday, and
skating on banana peels.
It was bad. Yeah. So yeah, you'll want your blades.
I'm from Vancouver. Sometimes Trout Lake froze over.
One time. We should have known it was 2016. Then Donald Trump became the president, so that was a sign of things to come.
No, the Cubs won the World Series, and then he became president.
Again, yeah, that was an omen. We've talked about that on this show.
Yeah,
to PMAC's chagrin, because it's baseball related.
Yeah, PMAC's not here. He's still in Winnipeg. He's having the time of his life. He's not. He's had a sinus infection for like 3 weeks.
Attaboy.
So there were some funny things that were happening over the summer that we wanted to talk about. And there's not much to talk about with hockey. I was at Safeway today, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a summer episode. What think about the Canucks?" And then I totally forgot that Trevor Linden quit. Jay Beagle's a Canuck. All that jazz.
Antoine Roussel's a Canuck.
All the
Some
hits.
guy named Tim Schaller's a Canuck. Quinn Hughes is not a Canuck.
But
Wait, he's not?
Well, not officially.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a Wolverine.
he's like, I'm gonna go back to school.
Yeah, get that degree.
The Canucks got stuff to sort out.
Well, he
before
seems
shows up.
really clingy to his brother.
Yeah. Jack will go where I go.
He's like, I'll go where Jack goes.
Like, now, if we want to get into the serious hockey talk part of the show, is anybody else but me kind of worried about that? That he might hold out? Because there's that college ball free agent loophole?
Maybe. I saw something on the ticker today while I was watching my plethora of baseball that they're working to get, they're trying to extend Besser already. And every time you hear that, they're working towards it, scares the shit out of you. I see no reason. I just think Quinn didn't want to ride the bus, and he didn't want to play in Utica. And so he's just going to go back to school where he's comfortable.
That's tough but fair. So you don't smell blood in the water. You don't see trouble on the horizon. He showed up to the camp and he played well. That's a good sign. It's like if he didn't show up to rookie camp at all for whatever bullshit reason, maybe that sets off an alarm bell. But just
he's also 18.
Yeah, barely 18.
He's and if Trevor Linden not welcoming him at the door, glad handing him is preventing him from signing, then there's other things afoot.
He's a 15-year-old Ryan from Abbotsford, wet behind the ears, 18.
Yeah.
The version of you I always wish I'd gotten to meet, by the way.
I think you met me at the beginning of that. I was still that reasonably wet behind the ears at
I wouldn't have
BCIT.
talked to that Ryan.
He liked to go to a white spot.
Yeah, and Olive Garden was a fancy dinner.
Fun fact, I didn't talk to that Ryan at BCIT at all.
You didn't talk to me either.
Yeah, well, Geeta was too cool for school, hanging out with her weird, eclectic journalist,
She's hanging out with that Murray Castonguay,
Ian Footy.
He's like 50 now.
Ian Footy, and Mark
Wait, maybe
Jansen.
you should take that out.
I'm not editing this. It's the summer. Oh, earlier in the season, we were...
and that Paul McClellan.
I spent a lot of time with Paul McClellan.
And his Brent Burns cosplay. Holy shit.
Yeah, he really let himself go out there in the peg.
Holy God.
I liked it.
It's too much.
It was too much.
Really? Because he wore it well.
He wore it well, but you got to think about the practical issues that come along with kissing a man with a beard that big. Whatever he ate 2 days ago, chances are you're going to taste it. And also, think about renting an Airbnb to a guy with a beard like that. You're going to find those red beard hairs there for weeks. It's like Kramer coming back from the ocean. He's going to bring all the sand with him. So I think it was a good move by PMAC to trim the beard.
Yeah, that's
He
a good
looks
point.
good. He looks neat and organized. He doesn't look like I'm going to give him any coin. He's starting to look a little homeless.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The main reason I wanted to record a summer podcast, I don't know if I told you this story.
And don't worry, I stopped him.
With what? Oh,
Why?
yeah. I was trying to schedule a summer cast over the BC Day long weekend, and Geeta's like, no.
Oh my God, no! That would have been a riot.
Yeah, because then you wouldn't have gotten this one.
No, Geeta's got a good story too. Anyway, the story I really wanted to tell was there was a couple. It was the night before we went down. Geeta and I went down to Safeco to see the Mariners play with Black Ace Simon, Puckson at Black Ace Simon Baldwin, and his wife Betty.
Did he apply for Dave's position, by the way?
Not yet, but you never know.
That'd be a solid ad.
There's some buzz. There's some interest.
There's Stu Walters. There's Simon Baldwin. There's
Big Cole.
Cole Renner would be a solid addition.
We're reviewing applications.
I floated it by him on a night I also got incredibly intoxicated, and it was Christmas Day. He was like, "Oh, really? What do I gotta do?"
You're going up to the big leagues, kid.
What? This happened. So this is the night before we go to the ball game, and I wound up getting exceptionally drunk on a questionable variety of types of alcohol.
Is that the baseball game?
The night before.
Oh, you don't get drunk the night before the baseball game.
Yeah. So
fun fact: the last time I went to a baseball game with Simon Baldwin, I got drunk the night before. It was a long car ride.
Yeah. So we're talking, I'm drinking white wine and vodka, soda waters, and there's pickleback shots.
They don't tell you ever growing up, but mixing wine with anything else is trouble. Even other wines. Like if you're on a bottle of wine, that's your label. Like you can order multiple bottles. I'm not kidding. You stick to like that same bottle,
color.
That same color and same bottle of Red Rooster Pinot Grigio, whatever the fuck you're drinking on a patio. The minute you deviate at all,
Goes straight to your head.
Yeah, it goes straight to the dome. So everything, I'm saying, that started with various wines, vodka, soda water, drinks, pickleback shots.
You're living out the lyrics of that Chumbawamba song.
Yeah.
You take a whiskey drink, you take a vodka drink.
Yeah, Jack and Cokes.
It's fine. It's Ryan's summer between second and third year.
And so I find my way home at about 3 o'clock it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I fall into my bed, and I'm laying there, and I live in the West End here in Vancouver, and I hear what I think is somebody breaking into a car.
Uh-oh.
And all of a sudden what comes over me is this take back the neighborhood, vigilante justice, not in my goddamn backyard.
Flirting with the white supremacist group BC Proud, but not quite.
Yeah, the soldiers of Odin or whatever they're called.
Oh, the worst.
And I go to my window, and this is 3:30, but almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I apologize for my swearing here, but I have to say, I'm verbatim. I was like, "You goddamn motherfuckers breaking into cars, that's bullshit, you motherfucking bastards. These are good, hardworking people in this neighborhood," yelling at the top of my lungs.
Because you're trying to alert the media.
Yeah. And then I hear another smash, and I'm like, they're not listening. So I go to my bathroom window. I'm like, I can hear you motherfuckers. We're calling the cops. This is a good neighborhood, hard-working people.
You've gone full Clint Eastwood, get off my lawn at this point.
And then I look up. And the apartment building next to me is about 15 feet away. And all these lights start turning on. And
Oh, no.
And I was like, I'm like, whoop, time to go to bed now. And so it was so embarrassing. I woke up in the morning like, please don't be a note. Please.
But if people were breaking into cars, drunk or sober, you did the right thing.
Looking back, here's what I'm pretty sure I heard was a homeless man binning and like dropped a wine bottle.
Yeah, much higher likelihood of that.
And I realized that as soon as I thought back the next day in a sober light. But then I have this mental image that in my mind, there's this disheveled, derelict homeless man with barely wearing shoes and he kind of looks like, your standard movie homeless man. He's
a wet bandit from Home Alone.
Thank you, Wet. I was just thinking Wet Bandit. And in my mind, he's out by the bin and he drops the wine bottle. He's like, ah, shit. And then he hears this crazy man from the window. He's like, oh, Jesus, I thought I had it rough. Listen to this guy. What am I doing out here binning? When you got degenerates like that freaking out.
Must be in a low-income housing building.
Yeah. I mean, it is not low income. It's the lowest rent that we know of.
Yeah, I have the best rent in the city.
What's your rent, if you don't mind?
Free.
$9.50 a month.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
For a studio?
For that location?
Yeah,
dude, never move ever. Move. You get married and have kids, they're all living there.
Yeah, damn right.
In. I know.
Just leave it to them.
I know. I feel like a sucker. I'm giving up probably the best deal in Vancouver. Is that my palatial estate, 1,500 square feet, 2 big bedrooms and a storage room in the unit, $1,675 a month. I pay for that.
That's
place.
a really good deal too.
They're gonna jack the rent up.
Yeah.
J9 from the Shitty Beatles looked at it already, but like they're gonna go 2 G's on that at least.
They should, yeah.
Yeah.
They
shouldn't, but they will.
They shouldn't, but
it's Vancouver.
But they can.
When Geeta and I were walking to see Spice World at the outdoor cinema in Stanley Park,
as one does,
we saw a 3-bedroom apartment vacancy.
They have those?
They have.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
we were afraid to ask.
like, would it cost like $5,000?
It might be around that.
Like, how big would that apartment be?
That's like a CFO. There's a big difference in the letter between F and E in terms of salary, but that's a CFO who wants to live in the city and have city kids.
Oh yeah,
fucking city kids. City kids going to the diner by themselves when they're 11 and eating a bowl of macaroni and reading a magazine like they're a 40-year-old man.
We were like, it's a bunch of. We thought it was like a bunch of students living like a dorm.
Fucking sophisticated city kids.
Oh god, taking the bus, going places.
I'm a latchkey kid. I can do whatever. I'm safe.
Mac and cheese.
Read about like a divorced old man. Better get home. Early start tomorrow on that algebra.
So, for those that don't know, I'm delightfully unemployed, and I just wanted to say that I've come across some money making endeavors.
Did you see how worried I looked right there?
And do you hear how Geeta giggled?
I just went, oh no.
Why? Because he's scamming all his friends for money.
Hey, we'll
It's
get
not
there.
Are you about to try to sell me some kind of superfood? Or
Yeah.
like a or like one of those at-home soda makers,
Oh, Soda Stream?
a soda stream Ponzi scheme type thing.
If I come across
I feel
one.
like he turned our football pool into a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. But anyway.
you tell two friends and then they tell two
Yeah,
friends.
no, that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, and I've made $14,000. So it was it was last month, and actually it was the day that I did a phoner with fellow Canucks podcasters, Stick and Rink Pod over on Vancouver Island. I was a few beers in, and I did a little pod phoner for their radio show. He had to listen back. She said I sounded intelligent enough. Anyway, so go listen to them. They're fans. They're listeners of the show. And I was at my friend Carly's house, and a friend of hers came in to borrow her boyfriend's van. And he has a Dodge Caravan that, your standard TV production van.
White van,
Yeah.
no windows,
Yeah.
Hauling stuff. So
lots
he's
of C-stands, lots of microphones.
yeah. And so this other guy is coming to borrow it because he has to clear out a storage unit because he's moving and he needs the van. He's like, I got all this shit I got to take. It's like, anybody here want a big TV? And my ears perk up like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, right here. What kind of TV? He's like, I got a 55-inch TV. It's like 5 years old. I just don't want to recycle it. And I go, really? And at first I was so jazzed. Like I thought it would be like a rear projection TV that was like 15 years old. That's 720p or some bullshit.
But it was like more like this.
It was newer than this.
Yeah, it's newer than Geeta's gigantic television. Same size.
How big was the TV in your house?
I have a 40-inch in my apartment.
So this is a substantial upgrade.
Yeah, and so I'm like, substantial upgrade. And I was fairly buzzed when I made the decision. It's like, okay, come back at the end of the night. We'll get it. It barely fit in the back of this of an Evo. It's that big. And an Evo is a Toyota Prius 4-door with a hatchback. All the seats roll down. This giant TV barely fits into it. And I get the guy to help me drag it in, and I drive to the West End to my apartment where I run the neighborhood with my vigilante justice.
That's right.
And I get the TV out, and I realize,
Showman.
and I realize, how the hell am I going to get this TV up into my apartment on the second floor by myself? It's 55 inches, and it's like, so I start hugging the TV and like waddle, get exhausted. It's about 30 degrees. Stop, rest. Hug again, waddle, make it to the stairs. I get it all the way up. It takes me 20 minutes to get this TV up into my...
There was a simple solution to this problem.
Who?
You just knock on all the doors and ask if anybody wants a free 40-inch TV.
No, they're going to go, this voice sounds familiar.
Oh, that's true. Like, anybody who wants to help me get this up to my apartment can have the one I'm replacing.
You're thinking a TV exchange is in the works. I get this thing all the way up into my apartment, sweating my ass off. And then I look at the base, because the TV's older and heavier. The base is like 16 inches wide.
Uh-oh.
And my mantle on where I have my 40-inch TV is 11 inches wide.
Oh, no.
And it won't fit up there.
Uh-oh. You could wall mount it, but then you're out a little bit of coin.
Yeah, so my profit margins are, free TV now costs me hundreds.
You're driving a bunch of cans in a mail truck to Vermont from New York.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get the 10 cents instead of 5 cents.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there, like... I was just sitting there watching the ball game on it, like it's on a box on the floor, and I'm just like what an idiot! Like, what am I gonna do with this thing? This is I'm just like, of all the things that I would lug in, like now I have to dispose of this, and then I just start asking people, "Hey, you want to buy a TV? Want to buy a big TV?" And a friend of the show, Dana, I said to her, "Hey, anybody want a 55-inch TV that works great that I can't fit in my apartment?" She bought it off me.
How much you pay?
$100.
Couple of bucks.
Couple of bucks.
So that was a quick 100.
It was a quick hundo.
Quick hundo.
That was my first unique way of gathering cash.
So long story short, you're running a pawn shop now.
Yes, because then last week, Geeta, her phone died. It was on a ramshackle budget. No, it was just on its last legs. And it dies. And I said, hey.
Because, it was a 2015 phone. And
It's
by
like-
now...
We were talking like a 6 plus.
It's a 6.
It was a 6.
Yeah.
And in phone years, that's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
It's a brick.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I got a 6S. So I got that hooked up on Geeta, but she hasn't paid me yet.
No, I haven't. I'm waiting
what
for
do you-
payday.
What are you using then?
I got an 8 in December, and I didn't need to replace my phone.
I got an extra 6S just sitting in a.
Is that your transition? I was in the middle of the worst week ever. Everything was dying,
What happened?
with the exception of me.
Yeah, that's right.
So the last time we did a podcast, I bought a car.
You did. It's nice. I've seen it.
It was nice.
Dave was the only person who got a ride in it, essentially.
Yeah,
Like,
I got-
none of my friends got to sit in that car.
I got a. Oh, what happened?
Rest in peace, Olivia.
No. I was.
Wait, how do you not know?
I haven't seen you
The
guys.
Baldwins knew.
I haven't seen you guys outside of softball. I haven't seen you in weeks.
Yeah.
Ryan tells other people.
I didn't know about this. Well,
It's
'cause
also an odd phone call to me.
you had it for like 2 days, and then
Yeah.
you and I went and got a drink, and I sat in it, and it was nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was really nice.
yeah, it was. So what happened?
Last Sunday,
Well, you had scuffed it like the first day you got it.
I know, but don't tell anyone that.
Okay.
My dad and brother saw that immediately. No one else did.
It's like this damage didn't come from the rear ending.
I was like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know what you're seeing.
It was a very quick outing. Like I was maybe with you for 45 minutes to an hour,
Yeah.
and I was like, good for her. She got a new car.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from that interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
it was a beautiful car.
Notice that you're saying was and a lot. You're saying was a beautiful.
Last Sunday in Vancouver, gorgeous day, right? Sun is shining, beautiful, not like perfect driving conditions.
Sunday. Pride Sunday.
Pride Sunday. I'm driving down Cambie. I live downtown. Cambie is basically my road. I drive it from one end to the other. I'm only going to my parents' house. I get to Cambie on 63rd, and
That's a bad neighborhood.
South Van.
yeah.
That's where my papa was from.
Come to a stoplight and check my mirror, and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden I'm moving, and I can't figure out why I'm moving. I'm like, what did I do? And then it hits you, literally hits you.
The Cadillac Escalade hit you.
A Cadillac Escalade hit me and pushed me into the SUV in front of me.
Oh, like you got rear-ended.
I got rear-ended and then pushed into the car that was in front of me.
Well,
So
see, that's-
both the back and the front are smashed.
Smashed really
How
good.
hard did they hit you in the Escalade?
Enough that like the Escalade had left like an imprint in my vehicle.
But
like neither the trunk. No, I am sitting here, Dave. I'm okay.
But like you weren't.
For those- let me hang on.
Were you super sore and stiff?
This-
Oh, I'm so still.
This isn't a video podcast, so I'm just going to describe Geeta. Now, I said off the top she's wearing glasses. She has one of those metal braces that go up and around.
She's wearing a halo.
She looks like
Steve Moore.
Yeah, she looks like Steve Moore, but with thick frame Kyle Dubas glasses.
And Dave keeps still asking, "Are you okay?"
What happened?
Ryan's been feeding her Jello, so and she's got one of them straw controlly Christopher Reeve wheelchairs. That's bad taste. But are you okay?
I'm sore. Like
A little banged up.
yeah, like
Luckily you're a quadriplegic,
who's-
so
yeah.
it's okay.
anyone who's been rear-ended knows it's not fun.
Yeah.
And you hurt.
So
and
who was the person that hit you? Who is this person?
Sharif.
Yeah, Geeta's on a first name basis with Sharif from Richmond.
Abdur Rahim? They build cars even for the very tall.
This is the largest automobile that I could afford.
No,
So what was
and then
Sharif-
Ryan looked him up. We thought he lived in one of those actual palatial estates.
So what's his story? Like, what's his story? What happened?
What did he say to me? He's
Yeah.
like, I didn't see you. I'm like, that's why I prefaced it by saying I've only been driving on Cambie. There are no other roads.
This reminded me
In the big white Mercedes Benz.
I'm like, you had to have seen me at some point. I didn't come out of anywhere. It's the one road in which I can't come out of anywhere.
I'm the only person driving a Mercedes that's not an old rich Taiwanese man.
So this reminded me of his line of "I didn't see you." It reminded me of a car accident of somebody. Dave and I witnessed it. I think you might have been in the vehicle of somebody that remained nameless, that we both know. Rhymes with Moni.
I was in the car.
And
That's what I was thinking?
Yeah, and
Hey man, the bar's right there.
the
And then
bar, the Legion.
He pointed the car at the bar.
He goes, you're supposed to turn right, and he's in the left lane. And I was in front of it with Errol, and I'm like, oh, there's Shmoney. And I'm like, oh, he's
Coming in a little hot.
He's coming in hot in the wrong lane. Dave points, and he turns right, and he plows right into a guy. But the best...
A parked car.
No, he wasn't parked. He came into his blind spot. But then I'm like, I was watching, and he starts going, it's like, oh, you came out of nowhere. Oh, you're in my, how am I supposed to check my blind spot when you're going that fast? I'm just like, oh, well, there's Shmoney doing his best Lionel Hutz impression. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks. The best part of it was that I was pushed into a cop.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Oh, that is really convenient.
Did you know him?
I didn't.
They sell insurance in the same building. Geeta's a house painter. Anyway, so you hit ended up hitting a cop.
I hit an off-duty police officer.
Perfect.
And then they're like, well, you can't drive this. I couldn't drive it, because my dad's on the phone. He's like, is it leaking? And he's yelling at me, you can't drive it if it's leaking. And I phoned my mom to try and come get me. And she's like, no, just drive it home. It's fine.
What color's the fluid?
Yeah.
What does it
leaking?
smell? What is the scent?
The cop just looks at me like my mother. I'll never forget his face. He's just like, your mother doesn't love you. And I literally lost
Shit got real.
pieces of my car. I lost pieces of my car on Marine Drive.
Yeah, if anybody sees a Mercedes-Benz logo, that's Geeta's. And we need to give that away as a Patreon prize.
Some kid has attached it to a chain and is wearing it as a wrapper.
So following that, immediately my phone dies in the middle of the night.
And so naturally, I just want a sidebar. To run a successful pawn shop, what I'm doing...
Brian's also my in case of emergency.
So yeah, I'm gonna need that.
That's sweet.
And I went easy on her. I said, she's like, well, how much would you sell this for? I'm like, it's by donation, but I don't have a job.
I know.
So I just want to let you know that we do have some hired goons. You know.
Who's gonna take my knees out? They're not.
I know some people that.
For you?
I know some people that wouldn't mind taking you out by the knees.
Won't be me. I'm on the other end of it. I'm the guy that she calls.
The things I've done for your friends.
Oh man, this was on Pride weekend, and I wanted to. I don't know. I don't get that either.
I kind of do, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Not saying anything.
It's starting to make sense now.
Leaving it alone.
Starting to make sense now.
That pitch came in right down the middle, but I don't swing at the first pitch. I got to work the count.
Listen,
Could I hit that pitch? Sure, I could have hit it. She'll get behind in the count. I'll see another fastball.
Slow the game down. Let the game come to you.
If we know he's on 100 count. We can get him out with the fifth inning. So, at a Canadians game I was at this year, I witnessed a fan, a guy about our age, early 30s, looked like he was a husky gentleman, traded an Oreo ice cream sandwich he had to one of the players standing by the dugout in between innings for a baseball.
Aww.
And then
Look at the ideas you've just
I was on the bar.
him.
I was on the Barstool starting 9
Then
Instagram
you can
app.
sell those balls.
Like the Barstool baseball specific Instagram account, and I saw it there today. So somebody else had shot it from another angle.
No way.
And it was on the front page of that Instagram today. It was from Nat Bailey.
I gotta look that up because
it was from a much closer angle. I was a few rows back.
You're like, what? That looks like an Oreo ice cream sandwich.
And it was I just thought, at the time, I thought Mrs. Dave and I thought that was the funniest thing we'd ever seen in a baseball, because it was a fat player too. It was a big fat relief pitcher.
Dan Vogelback.
It was a total Vogelback type guy. This guy had an ass that was still in rookie ball. He was so big, and he's trading ice cream Sammys for BP balls. It's a better deal.
That's pretty genius.
It's a good idea. I know what I'm going to be doing this week.
Hey Alvarez, you want a ball? You want an ice cream sandwich? Give me that baseball.
They go for at least $30 on the Craigslist.
It's a BP short A ball. That's maybe worth a.
I mean, you got good money for a bobblehead.
That's maybe worth a generic Freezy or a popsicle. I don't know if it's worth an ice cream
Just
sando.
get them to sign it.
I when we went to that ball game, it was D. Gordon bobblehead night.
Yes, this is your other hustle that you made.
I forgot this other hustle. I have another hustle after this I got to tell you about. So we had gotten our bobbleheads. We drove down there. Betty Baldwin didn't want hers, so I took it. And I was like, running my pawn shop.
So everything that anybody gives you out of the kindness of their heart, you just flip it.
Well, I gave Geeta the phone out of the kindness of my own heart.
I just witnessed you shaking her down.
I am. Well, listen.
Yeah, but he also wouldn't be able to reach me.
You've deployed Hopping Mad Collections Agency. They're sending her letters.
So I put it on Craigslist for $35, and I sold it to the nicest TransLink bus driver ever, who drives a bus in my neighborhood in the West End 4 nights a week.
Oh.
And he's like,
Do you ride his bus?
I don't like taking the bus on Davie because it's so congested. I'll just walk up it.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's like going down commercial. I'll never take the bus.
Not even worth it.
That number 20 smells like pee and sadness.
Oh my God, the number 20 bus
It's the worst bus in Vancouver.
Yeah.
See, I was a 41 kind of girl.
A 41's a fine bus.
Yeah.
I took the 22 to baseball the other day. That was nice.
Oh yeah.
22 is a good bus.
Yeah, we played softball. Shitty Beatles. Back-to-back ships didn't happen this year.
Didn't happen. I hit a nice dinger though to end the season. That was good.
Hey, you guys were left with like 4 players by the time Ryan left that game.
We had 7 and they had 7.
It worked out.
It did.
But
they were nice too. We had fun with those guys.
We'll be back, And
Ryan had the greatest night of his entire life. So
I did officially have the greatest night of my life on Sunday night.
I kind of imagined you living out like a Michael Cera, Jesse Eisenberg type movie.
What movie is that?
Like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist type movie, where you went to a secret rock show and met a Nora.
I was thinking Adventureland.
Okay,
with awkward Ryan Reynolds cheating on his wife, like subplot.
That's so what that movie is. Yes.
Well, this will tie into Geeta and I had very polarizing nights on Sunday. So if you don't know me, I am a very big Jack White Stripes fan. If you've seen if you follow me on social media, it's all I've been talking about. And he had his big show at Rogers Arena on Sunday night, and I pay his record label a lot of money 4 times a year to become a member of his subscription service, and through that I won early entry.
You always drink your Ovaltine.
That's right. Listen, and Tidal is the best streaming service ever because Jack White put a bunch of money into it.
Okay.
Yada yada yada.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Huh. So I went down there, and actually, I was so stressed out about having to be there for 6:30. We had softball at 5. I made Geeta. I texted both my moms, and I texted my mom and I texted Geeta, and I said, I need a ride from our softball game in the middle of the boonies to Rogers Arena so I can be there at 6:30. So I got early entry. So before, anytime I would go see Jack White.
By the way, the entire team could not believe how nice you are that you did that for him. Your stock in the eyes of like 7 people went through the roof.
Now, if you're wondering what Geeta
everybody was like, I never heard of anybody doing anything that nice.
Listen, I was describing to everybody.
That's what I said to them. I'm like, we're squad goals.
Yeah, it's my Christmas.
That is squad goals.
It was
at 11 o'clock last Tuesday night. He wanted to bring me a phone.
Yeah, I would have come over. I needed to get out of the house. I don't have a job.
I'm like, I gotta work in the morning.
You've been in Seg for 23 hours a day. That's your yard time.
So she drove me, or I drove myself in her rented Honda Elantra. Hyundai Elantra. And so long story short, I got all these silkscreen Jack White prints. They do individual ones for every concert, and there's about 300 per concert. So you got to get there early to get one. I got 3 in my house that are framed. And with this early entry, I was going to get my poster. I had a general admission ticket on the floor. I was going to be front row, and it would be fucking perfect. And so I'm up there, I'm mingling, I'm rubbing elbows with all the Jack White nerds that I'm just like, look at all these fucking nerds, and because I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh God, like this is why I hate going to wrestling or like just things that I'm really passionate about, because I'm like, this is my thing. This shouldn't be anybody else's thing.
Yeah, you fucking marks.
You fucking jabroni marks. Yeah. So there was one guy there with a White Stripes shirt that he clearly bought on a tour. I'm like, I could have bought that shirt if I wanted to. I was at the same concert, nerd. So anyway, I get in there, I buy my silkscreen print, and I was I think the second person on the general admission floor because I had early access with 10 other people, and I just like pranced and sprinted like I was going through pranced and like skipped like I was going through a meadow of just emptiness because I had my pick of the spot. And so I was just like, la, 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 la. And a security guard came up. It's like, we really liked your entrance onto the floor. It was very majestic. And it was, this is my 9th time seeing Jack White. It was
The 10th one's free.
Yeah, I got my punch card.
Free sub.
Yeah. From Atomic
There
Sub.
might be a captain's hat involved.
One funny thing is I was making friends with the vault members, which is I am, that also had entries for early entry. And this woman from Jack White's record label comes out to give, we all have our ID, our emails that we won, and she's like, Ryan, I'm like, oh, it's just me. You could win, or you could have a guest. And I'm like, oh, it's just me. She's like, oh, it's just you? Do you want to pick somebody out of here to let them in early? And in the
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Well, you say that, and then I literally looked behind me at the people milling about, and I'm like, nah, I'm okay. And I wasn't thinking, I was like, nah. And then I realized, oh, that looks really vain. Anyway, but I didn't want to just bring some random in.
Yeah, you got to vouch for him.
Yeah, so I got my poster. I got my spot front row, 8 feet away from him performing.
Mm-hmm.
I brought earplugs. It was the best thing I've ever seen. It was one of the best concerts I've ever seen.
Why did you bring earplugs?
Because it's loud.
Yeah, I was at Metallica that close up
okay.
once, and it took me a week to recover.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I have tinnitus in my right ear from Motley Crue.
Yeah.
And so I bring
Not worth it.
it was
That's just sad.
so I bring earplugs, and if I keep them in for half the concert,
Uh-huh.
it works. It does really well. So my ear was ringing yesterday, but it was totally reasonable. And so front row, my favorite band of all time, artist of all time. He was talking about the Canucks, and he was backstage. He saw the Flying V jersey, and it's like at the end of the show, he's like, "They need to bring back the Flying V. Everybody, put your arms in the air to make a V. We're starting a grassroots thing," and it was just really cool. Anyway, then I also met a fellow Jack White nerd on my level, a girl that flew in from Edmonton with her friend, and they were staying up all night to catch a 6 a.m. flight on Monday morning. And I was like, well, I'll hang out with you guys. And their hotel was very close to my steal of an apartment. And one of them was married with a kid, and the super duper Jack White fan was not. And
bagged and tagged.
And then I walked her to her hotel, and they made their trip back to the airport.
Nice.
It was pretty great. It was the best night ever, and that was before that happened. I was just on a high. Oh, and I caught a pic.
Wow.
So I caught a pic, and it fell on the speaker in front of me, and we're like, oh man, a pic fell, and I was like, how am I gonna get it? And this very nice middle-aged Jack White fan from Seattle was like, use your poster, because I rolled it up with Geeta's hair elastics. I made her bring me, and I was like, I don't have any elastics. You need to bring me hair elastics or regular elastics so I can protect this poster. So I was able to climb up on the barricade, and I started fishing the pick towards me, and then this jabroni, three people over, he's like, oh, that's a good idea. And he starts trying to fish for it, and I was like, the hell you don't. And I pushed it over towards me, and then I shifted all my weight onto the barricade, and I grabbed it, and I was like, this is fucking amazing. And then we went to the Shark Club afterwards, where Black Ace Cole Renner now bartends, and I was with those two girls from Edmonton. They're like, yeah, you caught the bass player's pick, and I'm like, oh, the bass player.
It's not Jack White's pick.
And then the super fan from Edmonton was like, she was so jealous that I got it.
But tell Dave what the comparison is.
Geeta compared it to a foul ball at an Oakland Athletics game.
Where you'd never heard of any of these guys.
And I was like,
never heard of half these guys, but the ones I have heard of are way past their prime.
So I was already thinking of
2004 David Justice.
Okay, you would have kept that.
It was a David Justice middle of May foul ball.
I got a James Hetfield pick.
Well, see, that's cool because he's a guitar player, but the bass. So I was already thinking of giving her the pick to look cool, to be cool, because I'm like, that's cool. I don't really need it.
You're going to see these broads ever again. You keep the pick.
But then when they told me it was the bass players, I'm like, well, here, you can have the pick. And
oh, shucks, kid, here's your foul ball.
Yeah, and
so Geeta, how was your night?
That's right. I was really excited about this one. Because I had actually met him back in the fall.
I did note that you were fairly dressed up for a softball.
Oh,
drop-off.
yes, that's
But
the
I
one.
also look like that.
No.
I was like, wow, she's dolled up.
I made the joke to...
She looks nice.
Aw.
Geeta showed up in a form-fitting, hugging, one very sleek dress, done up in the makeup, to pick me up like a mom at our shitty Beatles
I was like,
softball
who's
game.
Ryan's mom.
Yeah, and and I'm like, why is? And then me and Dave are standing on the dugout. I'm like, look, here comes Annie Savoy, which if you've seen Bull Durham, you'll know what we're talking about. But then I was relieved to know that you were dressed up that well because you had a date.
Yes. I
Like,
had
not that you don't always look great.
You guys
do,
see me at the end of the day.
but you especially looked great. Anyway,
Thank you. I appreciate
So
that.
you're not-
Confirmation.
your night is starting out pretty well. You're looking good. You're feeling good. You've done a good deed for Ryan, so you're on a bit of a high.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
So anyways, I said, like, I was really excited about this guy because I had met him back in the fall, but then he had gone to a wedding and we never ended up going out. He went to a wedding in the Dominican, came back and said, I met someone at the wedding. And I was like, all right, whatever.
He's a baseball player.
Sure.
That's who we met.
Yes. He is a baseball player. He's a softball player. No, he has not played you two.
Good.
Yeah.
Mop the floor with him with our infield prowess.
That's right.
Anywho.
I think I couldn't handle my curveball.
He was seemingly great. We'd been like messaging each other, like texting for over a week and a half. Like the banter was there.
Mhm.
But he had made a couple of comments that like had me a little on high alert.
What kind of comments?
They were about the fact that I was Indian, and I'm like, anytime someone has to bring up my like
Ethnicity?
thank
What's
you
your
very
family
much.
background?
I'm always like,
You look so exotic. Was your dad a GI?
but like, I'm always like, why? Why do we need that? That has nothing to do with anything.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because he doesn't want to foot the bill for a 3-day Indian wedding. Where are you going to rent an elephant in this part of the continent?
It's
I
a marathon,
feel like you
not a
could
sprint.
scam one for us at this point. You could trade a paperclip for an elephant.
I'm running a very successful pawn shop.
It's by the hour, Geeta. Get on. Let's go. Get that thing around the fire. Let's go. Anyway.
So we meet up in Yaletown, because that's no secret. Sorry.
I don't know where this palatial estate is.
Yeah, exactly. I think Ryan has dropped a pin on it.
Patreon. I'll tell you where it is.
And
$5.
so, the formality, I will get to his appearance eventually, but we'll leave that out for a second.
So he sent a couple of dicey race texts.
Yeah, but you just sort of like, you just, move past it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how was your weekend? Great. I was listening to a podcast. Before I knew it, I had listened to 8 hours of it. And I was never a guy who used to listen to podcasts. So you know what my natural answer to that is?
Geeta's a hustler, baby. She's a hustler.
Until I did my own podcast, I used to not listen to these either.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you have a podcast. What is it? Omni Hockey?
Oh.
Wait, like hockey night in Punjab?
That'll kill a lady boner pretty fast.
Kind of. At this point, I had already walked past him because I'll get back to his appearance.
Do you want me to get you on that broadcast?
If I was on that broadcast, that would be great. We would be so proud of it, and we would promote the shit out of it. However,
get her in the suicide box next to Ray Ferraro.
However, the fact that I've just met this white guy and it's only been about 5 seconds and that's what he asked.
This cracker ass.
Yeah, I was just like,
so that was in person.
That was in person. That was like his first thing that he said to me, and I just was like, that's a little racially motivated.
So
and
for you
just,
kids out there listening, I know you are. That's not your opening line
No.
when meeting a pretty lady.
No, it's not. And then he's like, oh, guess we're off to a bad start.
You're like, yeah.
He said that?
Yeah.
'Cause what did you say to the Omni thing?
I said, that's a little racially motivated.
Oh, okay, yeah, you said that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then walked past him, went to the Earls.
You walked ahead of him.
I was walking
Oh,
ahead
that
of him.
date's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Well, or he needs to own it and like a
Even if he apologized.
You know what? I don't know if he ever owned anything he said. Like, I just feel like he firmly inserted his foot into his mouth and kept going deeper.
And that is
It was a racist boot.
That is also an affliction that suffers a lot of men suffer from that. Like once they're in trouble and they know they're in trouble, they just keep driving the car into the wall.
We'll just punch our way out.
Yeah. Well, how do we get out of this hole? We'll dig our way out. So,
No,
okay.
dig up,
So
stupid.
you guys are in the Earls, and what happens next?
Okay, I will give you the highlights of things. Let's see. Continues to ask about the podcast. Asks if we've had his boy Rick Dollywall on our show.
Because now he's trying to get. I got a lot of Indian friends. Rick Dollywall, the guy who delivers my Indian takeout. I think I had an Indian pilot. once.
Jazz Preet at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
My IT guy.
On the TV. I mean, if you know me well enough, you know I've been watching golf all weekend long.
Even
As we all
was
were watching
watching golf.
Yes, exactly.
Tiger Woods made golf great again.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So the golf highlights come on because it's Sunday night, and Tiger Woods is on the TV, and he's like, "Oh, it's your boy, Tiger Woods," and so I'm like, because we're the same.
Who the
skin?
fuck is this guy?
We're the same skin color, and he's like, "Yeah, but I guess I would have said Vijay Singh is more your guy." And
He's
I-
Fijian.
Wait. And
So
I'm
is
like,
she.
oh, because VJ and I are from Fiji. And he's like, oh, I was going to say he's from South Africa. I was like,
So he's racist and really bad at geography.
I'm like, huh. I'm like, if you know golf, all the South Africans look like Ryan.
Yeah.
The Ernie
Retief-
Els,
Retief
Goosen,
Goosen,
Charles Schwartzel.
they're
they
very
all-
Aryan.
Yeah.
Actually,
they're very Dutch.
Hey, brew. I'm of the pure blood, brew.
I knew a guy from South Africa that came to our school in grade 4, and he was whiter than me. And we wrestled
the
in his
South
basement.
African golfers look like Ryan. He said, "You don't
I
tan,"
laughed.
and I was like, "I don't tan." He's like, "You don't have to worry about tan lines."
What the fuck?
But this.
That's it. We're going to this guy's house.
But this was the clincher. Like, this is where I had to come home and
He's
like
you should check out my website,
'cause
BC Proud.
I texted you guys, but I also like texted my brother just to double check that I wasn't like being naive.
Or overly sensitive.
But exactly. But we were talking about our parents and our families, and I said neither of my parents are retired yet. Why are my parents not retired yet? Because neither of them are 60 yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reasonable explanation. You know what he said to that? He's like, "Oh, I thought they worked at Subway." And I'm like, I didn't get that. And I was like, huh? He's like, "Oh, well, when I tell my brown friends, that really kills with them." That's racism.
I have absolutely nothing. There's no joke I can make. That's just really fucking racist.
That's racism. Like, that's not
That's-
like, no matter what context it is, that's
you go out with
not
Michael
funny.
That's bad.
That's real bad.
Okay.
Dave and I were not briefed on this date.
There's not.
No,
well,
I-
you gave
I
us a
kept it-
very wide briefing. You
I
didn't-
gave you nothing because I also, like, I always told Ryan, and I didn't want either of you
So
to
how
know.
hard was your hand after you slapped him?
Yeah, right?
I hope you
like
had
when I hugged him goodbye, I actually made a disgusted face and didn't get close enough. It was very
The ass
like,
out? Was it an ass out hug?
it was like I'm visibly disgusted with this man.
So what did he look?
Okay.
Yeah, let's get. What do you look like?
Hang on, can I just draw here like
Yeah.
a police sketch artist?
Yeah.
Short,
No, well, he was short. He wasn't tall. Like, but
Bald?
he was taller than I was. He had the
Let's say five-
Hitler side part.
Hitler Youth haircut.
5'9" Hitler Youth haircut.
Yeah. Well, my first impression of him was that, oh my God, he has man boobs. Like, he had man boobs to the point where I'm walking beside him. I looked down at my own chest. just
Was he
to
more
make
stacked than you?
A little bit. That's why I was like, oh my God. Like, he was very, very buff where his head was too small for his body.
He had big arms.
Yeah, he was like.
He's a mini Hulk.
Yeah.
He was dripping in insecurity.
He was very, very like the bulk wasn't distributed well.
It's arm day and shoulder day every day.
Yeah, or steroids.
Maybe. Yeah, if he's got man boobs, that could be.
Oh yeah, that could be it.
He's on a cycle.
No
wonder he's good at softball.
That's really
Hitting
bad.
dingers.
That's a very bad tale.
What does he do for a living?
Construction.
Oh,
What the hell you doing dating this guy? He's fucking 10 rungs beneath the worst person we know.
Oh no.
all right, Pucks on It listeners. You send in your 8x10s, glossies to me, and how racist you are.
If you don't have health benefits, don't even fucking apply.
But that's bad, man.
You gotta at least
That's
have insurance.
So it is
Some
exactly what
post-second-
I hyped it to be. It is racism.
Yeah.
It's not.
If you want to date our
It's ignorance.
It's
like
blatant. I call it. I compare that to the
It's
valley.
it's
the valley
ignorance.
racism.
he's
The valley.
from North Van.
Well, they're racist over. They're racist everywhere.
They've never met anybody other than their Aryan Brotherhood in
I
North Van. It's
I-
the
it's-
whitest of whites.
I was saying this line last night, and
I
it was.
said we were going to torch him with the tiki he carries.
Did you say that to him?
No, I said that to Ryan.
Oh, that's awesome.
This we were talking about something else about racism, but she didn't tell me the story. But I compare it to I remember growing up in Abbotsford, where it's, oh man, you like somebody that's very ignorant will work with a brown person or somebody of whatever ethnicity, and like, I can't stand brown people, but you're one of the good ones. Like,
yeah,
you're
that's not okay.
Like it's just that
it's cringing.
Yeah, it's that old way of thinking, and so that's a really bad
But
date.
it's
Geeta.
2018 and he's like 33. There's no excuse for it.
No, it's not. He's just this a product of his own shitty environment.
Well, yeah. Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, after the show, I want this young man's name because I'm going to pay him a little visit with a brick through his window. I'm leaving town anyway.
That's advice for people. Don't treat everybody equally, or please do treat everybody equally. Don't.
Not even equally. When it comes to Geeta, treat her like a princess.
Well, yeah,
You
we saw
motherfucker.
we saw how she was dressed at softball.
Yeah, this guy, you blew it, bud.
Here I was.
blew it.
You and I had polar opposite Sunday nights. Man, you want to know what
This would be a great Elaine and Jerry cut scene of same exact time
first
frame.
class and coach. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that episode. You're eating hot fudge sundaes with a model, and someone's stealing Geeta's kosher meal.
I've somehow found a girl that
And I'm
is
trying to pick you both up at the airport. Paul and I are just confused.
Which airport? Which
We're going
which
back
terminal?
and forth. I want him to buy fare savers so
Ryan
we can get
arrived
the
at
points.
YVR and I'm in Abbotsford.
Very much so. Ryan's in the Air Canada Executive Lounge, and you're trying to get on Hop.
Just
God damn it. Thank God I'm going to Paris next week.
just
You're
for
going to Paris next week?
I think so. We'll see.
Send me a postcard.
just to say how polar opposite our evenings were.
Yeah.
You're in hell, and I have encountered a woman that is attracted to me based on my rare White Stripes vinyl, and she's at my apartment gushing over them.
It's vintage.
And she's like, and I'm like, that's from Italy Records. That's not a 2009 reissue. That's
I
the
mean, if
original.
someone wanted to hang out with me, we could watch preseason football. All the preseason football.
I want to say this, and I brought it up with Geeta last night.
I want to see who's going to win that practice roster quarterback spot on the New England Patriots.
the Dwayne
I'm
the Rock,
studying.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson spot, the last practice spot. I wanted to say this, that I had to do something on Sunday night that I hadn't done.
Wear a condom?
I was going to say that. I was totally going to say it.
Well, she's not wrong. I had to do something that
He probably beat his record time.
It's like it was junk sex.
anyway,
What's junk sex?
drunk.
Oh, drunk sex.
What I was saying was, you haven't done this for a really long time. Well, we're older.
I'm retired.
It's not sex. It's not sex.
My
related.
jersey's hanging in the rafters at Sun God Arena in North Delta. Let's put it
Well,
that way.
I was gonna say
Okay.
this is your jersey's hanging in the Sundowner or
the Mirage.
yeah. Okay, you know, I was
Which is the tap and barrel now.
I was explaining to Geeta and I have done this a long time, where it's like the dance floor is empty because it's just not happening, but you're with somebody that you're trying to court, and so you're like let's dance, and so you have to dance with them, but there's nobody else there, but you're still dancing with
You got
them.
no camouflage. You got no cover.
No camouflage, and you're just like, but you know that's the only way you're gonna remain that close.
People
to
are
them.
gonna-
go anywhere.
People are going to see where those hands are going.
Yeah, and everybody can see it. So we were
You need a crowd.
we were at Numbers, which the night before on Davie was they said it was banging. And we go there the next night. There's like 8 people there.
It's fucking Sunday night.
Yeah.
I know you've been out of the work game for a long time, but we're all tucked in.
No, I was like, she's like, where are we going? The two of them are like, where can we go on a Sunday night? I'm like, Country Night at the Roxy. The lineup's halfway to the Republic. I'm like, we're not getting it. It's like 12:30. Like, let's go back to numbers. It's open until 3. So anyway, I had to
You're Hunter Shinkarik at the Stockton Heat.
Yeah, let me in. Got a Pucks on that business card. Anyway, I had to dance I had to dance with no camouflage.
It's a rough move.
But I did it, and it all worked out in the end. And that's my I was sitting there drinking, and like
Goal scorers go to the dirty areas, Ryan. They go where they have to. They take the punishment and get it done.
See, I had to just pushed you into a corner.
it happened there eventually.
Yeah.
But
That's Geeta's move, is the soft dump in the corner. You don't want the goalie to pick it off. That's the married friend. She's going to wrap that thing up around the boards. They're going to break out no problem.
Mary Friend was fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very cool.
She was a good wing woman.
Oh, absolutely. She's like, I have to go to the bathroom for 10 minutes. You two dance. And
Good.
that. I was like,
Good lady.
And I was like, great
That's my
time.
kind of lady.
Great people. I hope I come across them again.
Maybe you'll end up working in Edmonton one day.
There was one moment, and so I was standing there, and then at the show, and then next to me was the married one who'd only seen him Jack White once, and then the other side of her was the super fan, and she knew that it was like a deep cut because anytime he started playing a song, both the girl and I would be like, oh, and then she's like, what? And then they would start playing some old White Stripes song, and we were like freaking out. She's like, what's going on? Why are they freaking out so much?
That's adorable.
It was pretty cool. I only had
He reached over and took her hand.
Nah, I didn't do that. All later.
Nick would have done that to Nora.
Okay.
Exactly, right?
There's one more thing I wanted to do, and then we'll wrap up this podcast because for those that don't know, I have a physical subscription to Playboy magazine, and every other month, a very delightful magazine gets delivered to my very affordable apartment. And I signed up for this subscription when they got rid of the nudity because I bought one to see what it would be like.
That didn't last very long, did it?
As soon as I got the subscription, they're like, we're back to nudity.
I feel like the nudity is tasteful.
It's good, tasteful
It is
nudity.
tasteful. It's not gross like Penthouse.
Yeah, it's not.
And
Or
Hustler.
Or Swank.
Yeah.
Or Creamsicle.
How many of those nudie magazines are there?
Not
oh,
very.
and today's National Creamsicle Day.
Fathers, lock up your daughters.
So there's a quiz in here
Yeah.
about
So I took this last week.
and no, so it goes, are open relationships right for you? Now, I have seen 4 people, including myself, take this quiz with completely different outlooks on relationships, and they all wind up that they should be in a polyamorous relationship. And we're like, how the fuck did we wind up in this? So I watched Geeta take it, I took it, and the 2 Edmonton Jack White fans took it when we were at my apartment. And I'm like, how did their answers wind up being
So now
polyamorous?
we're gonna watch Dave take it.
So Dave, I'm gonna make you take it.
Oh, boy. All right.
Okay, so
I am married for the record, so
yeah,
that does shape my...
you'd think.
You'd
Yeah,
think.
you'd
But let's find
think.
out.
Are open relationships right for you? The most important thing in a relationship is communication, good sex, or loyalty.
Good sex.
Okay. Your partner says she thinks a stranger is hot. How does that make you feel? Curious, indifferent, furious.
Indifferent.
What are you looking for in, well, you're married. You're in your next relationship. Oh, hang on. I got to read these to you.
No kids from the previous marriage.
Oh, there's only one. Oh, sorry. Here we go. What are you looking for in your next relationship? A deep, intimate connection or lots and lots of sex?
I can't answer that one. I'm dead in the water. Okay, we'll say a deep...
No, just
We'll say a deep,
just
intimate
play.
connection.
Okay.
Deep, intimate connection. Because the sex will fade.
The open relationship you could see trying is kitchen table. Everyone is upfront about all romantic or sexual encounters such that every participant would feel comfortable sitting around a table together. The next one, don't ask, don't tell. You and your partner date or hook up with whomever you want, but you don't go into detail with each other. Or, hard to say, you keep thinking about your partner's side of the deal.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Apparently, Dave, you're DTF.
Yeah, but this quiz is extremely flawed. Like they
Yeah,
all,
right? Of
course it
all of
is.
the answers, like it's Playboy, And all of the answers, like, it's rigged. It's a rigged game.
But
Sure, so
I have now seen 5 people
Yeah.
answer it completely differently,
Yeah.
and everybody is looking to get banged out by multiple people at different times.
I don't know anybody in Ottawa.
Yerky.
And his wife is lovely.
Yeah, really nice.
She's
lady.
related to Paul.
They're
Maybe-
probably older than us. I'm not going to get a fair
They're
shake in
not
that deal.
older than us.
Make the we can photocopy the quiz.
I ain't going Paul. Mrs. Dave, for the record, is a lot prettier than Mr. Dave. So if I ever went into one of these arrangements, I'd surely lose. I would not be getting the good end of the stick. So
There you go.
I'm like a guy with 20 at the blackjack table. I'm staying.
And unlike at the blackjack table, you're not staying because you'll be moving on September.
I am moving. I am very sad. I will miss seeing your lovely faces every single
we're gonna miss
week.
you.
But that being said, you need a taste of playoff hockey, and it certainly ain't coming to the West Coast. I'm going to get a 3-bedroom place. You all are welcome.
Like that one down in the West End, the unicorn we saw.
Yeah, no, this is Ottawa. I could probably get that apartment for about 10 cents to the dollar. So we have somebody out in the wilderness looking right now for us. We've got temporary accommodation in a big place
Okay.
for a couple of months, and then
Couple of months.
and then I think in November we'll be moving into something permanent.
Delightful.
Yeah, it's an open door for PMAC, Geeta, Ryan, no racist friends, and no randos from Edmonton.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Delightful
Ryan's
gal.
got one in every province now.
Yeah, I just need Manitoba.
And Yerky 21, if you're out there listening, and I know you are, let's get in touch.
Delightful.
Let's get in touch. I don't have any friends. I do have a hockey team already.
Oh yeah, what's your team
All
called?
right.
I am a member of the Ottawa Swamp Donkeys. And
Of course you are.
I was hooked up with them through from a friend of a friend. They play in the same division I play in now. So the team age is 30 to 37, and I should fit into their top 6 forward mix very nicely.
Oh,
Very
that's good.
nice.
But I had to go onto Urban Dictionary to figure out what
What
a
a
swamp donkey was.
And
It's a ugly woman at a nightclub.
Oh.
So it's not very progressive. I feel like I'm coming off of a couple of seasons of playing with a bunch of captains of industry, a few teachers, educators, a couple of doctors. We're a very learned hockey team, the Black Vipers. It's a
Yeah.
very impressive group of men. Very, very nice guys. I think you both have met various members of our team.
We've watched you play on the big rink, the Jack White Memorial Arena downtown.
Yes. That was with about half of the Vipers. I wish them the best of luck next year, but we'll see you in Nationals, and you're going down. Swamp Donkeys.
I do like the idea. I do like the idea of the phone-in segment, and that'll be. I think that's something we can definitely work with, and I like that for the next season. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to say because I want to tell a story.
okay.
Geeta and I, after I pawned my phone to her, we went to the beach, and she bought me a bunch of booze, and it's those nude vodka drinks, the carbonated water vodka, that no sugar, no hangover, no beer bloat. So we're sitting there, we're crushing them, and I was crushing them. She had like one tall boy because she's tiny, and we go, and instead of like hiding them and being inconspicuous, I somehow started stacking them like I was a frat boy and they were empties.
Like you're at the old Empire Stadium, BC Lions
Just
games?
like that. And I'm like, oh, I hope the cops don't come by. And we see them and I'm like leaning in front of them. And they're like about to walk by. And then this one female police officer's like, yeah, it's a $230 ticket for drinking at the beach. I'm like, oh, they're all empty. Don't worry. Like, we're done. She's like, yeah, if you could just, conceal those and not be,
I want to say she said monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. And Geeta just kind of sat there and went like, and just
Oh, no, we're not together.
yeah, I don't know this
This
person.
guy's blanket is just conspicuously close to mine.
So
He's drunk and creeping on me, officer.
So we didn't get in trouble. They walked, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Sorry." I love when cops are just basically like, "Can you not be an idiot?" And that's what it was.
It's funny, it's like every other country you go to. Like when I was in Italy a couple of months ago, I'm drinking Aperol spritzes that I'm buying legally and taking out of the beach, and everyone's doing it, and nobody is acting stupid.
Yeah.
Not one person.
Yeah, I think that if they did, if
they made it legal, no one. I really don't think anybody would abuse it.
I think there'd be a couple frat boys with a funnel.
Maybe the first couple weeks, but people have a way of shaming each other into behaving.
Yeah, it's true. But it reminded me, like where I had to talk to the cop, it reminded me after first year at BCIT where we thought the best idea to celebrate finishing the first year was to all drink beer and get drunk in the BCIT parking lot.
Yeah, in hindsight, that was not our best idea.
All crowded around my mom's Honda Accord with the beer in the trunk, just pulling them out. And there was only about 30 people in the parking lot.
He has both sets, both barrels.
Yeah, so everybody's out there. And this is like one of my favorite things ever.
Still didn't talk to these guys then.
Yeah, well,
no one's blaming you.
So anyway, so we're back there, and all of a sudden the BCIT security comes up, and they're like, they're shutting it down.
Yeah.
They're really bigwigging us. And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to confiscate all the booze. We're gonna have to call the RCMP. And I was drunk enough that in this switch went on in my head where I instantly turned into Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, and I don't know how this happened. This is 100% true, but I get up, I'm like, whoa, hold on a second, guys. No need to call the police. You guys are practically the police. We can handle this right here. Nobody needs to make a phone call. And there's like, yeah, okay, all right, you're right. Like, somehow they didn't call the cops. We had to pour out. They took out most of the booze was drank, and they took down a couple of our names and our student IDs.
Okay.
And but at this time the semester was over, so we were no longer students at BCIT. And in the most like bro dude moment ever, these BCIT security come to the broadcast center to get more information.
They're
on us.
thinking.
Yeah, and they let's go tell their teachers what's happened. And they come up and they go into the program, or they come into the broadcast center. We heard this secondhand, but I believe it to be true because it was confirmed later. But they basically walked up to the two instructors that ran it, Rob Briskin and Rob Nason. It's like, do you know...
OGs.
Yeah, real OGs. Like, do you know... a couple of your students were out drinking in the parking lot. We have Ryan Schapp, this so-and-so. I don't think they had Dave's.
They had rhymers.
Yeah, and they go, never heard of them. And they're like, what? It's like, no. And the BCIT security had to leave. Yeah. And it was the greatest thing ever.
Never heard of them.
So I wanted to close on that story.
All right. Well,
so I'll do the plugs. Yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter, PucksNetCR, PucksNetCa. And patreon.com/PucksOnNet. This show was really good, so it's going to be a free one for sure.
It was fun.
Yeah, and but if you do want to listen to some bonus content, there is one thing I want to record with you this month before we go.
Okay.
You go. And basically, it'll be a Patreon exclusive, and I want to do commentary on it. And I want you, me, and Errol to watch Errol drunk.
Oh, dear God. Okay, fine.
Yeah, and because there's a lot to that story.
One more for the road.
Yeah, so there'll be one more this was supposed to be the bonus episode for August, but we'll have another one. It won't be hockey related, but please, patreon.com/PucksOnNet. Couple of bucks, $5 to get you bonus stuff. And we have 95 reviews and 95 ratings in the Canadian iTunes store. We want to get that up to 100, so if you haven't yet, rate and review the show on iTunes. And we're available everywhere. And go like us on Instagram and Facebook and all that jazz. And now what are we going to do? We're going to go into the smoke that is British Columbia.
Yeah, and for you kids out there, because I won't be around too much next year, keep your mouth guards in and your sticks on the ice. Play clean, play hard, and have fun.
If I could move, I would try and tell you.